جنرل اقوام متحدہ انتونیو گوتریس نسٹ پہنچ گئے ہیں۔ یونیورسٹی آمد پر سیکرٹری جنرل کا استقبال کیا جائے گا، خوبصورت گلدستہ پیش کیا جائے گا۔ آپ کو بتا رہے ہیں، یہ آپ قافلہ بھی دیکھ سکتے ہیں۔ سیکرٹری جنرل اقوام متحدہ انتونیو گوتریس اس وقت نیشنل یونیورسٹی آف سائنس اینڈ ٹیکنالوجی پہنچ چکے ہیں۔ یونیورسٹی آمد پر سیکرٹری جنرل کا شاندار استقبال کیا جائے گا۔ یہ قافلہ آپ اس وقت ٹیلی ویژن اسکرین پر دیکھ سکتے ہیں۔ سیکرٹری جنرل اقوام متحدہ انتونیو گوتریس اس وقت نسٹ پہنچ گئے ہیں اور اس وقت ان کا استقبال کیا جا رہا ہے۔ انتونیو گوتریس کا نسٹ پہنچنے پر استقبال کیا جا رہا ہے۔ وہاں پر آپ دیکھ سکتے ہیں کہ مصافحہ کیا جا رہا ہے، انتونیو گوتریس کا استقبال کیا جا رہا ہے۔ سری نگر سے تعلق رکھنے والی کشمیری طالبہ ماہپارہ، افغان مہاجر خاندان کے محمد سہیب اور پاکستانی طالب علم سعد حسن انتونیو گوتریس کو پھول بھی پیش کریں گے۔ سیکرٹری جنرل اقوام متحدہ انتونیو گوتریس نسٹ پہنچ گئے ہیں۔ ماہپارہ نے ان کو پھولوں کا گلدستہ پیش کیا ہے۔ آپ دیکھ سکتے ہیں یہ کشمیری طالبہ ہیں ماہپارہ، جنہوں نے انہیں انتونیو گوتریس کو نسٹ آمد پر پھولوں کا گلدستہ پیش کیا۔ اس وقت افغان مہاجر خاندان کے محمد سہیب ہیں جو پھولوں کا گلدستہ پیش کر رہے ہیں، جبکہ پاکستانی طالب علم سعد حسن بھی ان کو اس وقت پھول پیش کر رہے ہیں۔ مصافحہ کیا، ان کا استقبال کیا، خوش آمدید کہا۔ نسٹ آمد پر سیکرٹری جنرل اقوام متحدہ انتونیو گوتریس کا سینٹر فار انٹرنیشنل پیس اینڈ سٹیبلٹی کا دورہ۔ یونیورسٹی آمد پر سیکرٹری جنرل کا شاندار استقبال کیا گیا ہے۔ خوبصورت گلدستے بھی پیش کیے گئے ہیں۔ گلدستے کشمیری طالبہ ماہپارہ، افغان مہاجر خاندان کے محمد سہیب اور پاکستانی طالب علم سعد حسن کی جانب سے پیش کیے گئے۔ اس وقت آپ یہ دیکھ سکتے ہیں سیکرٹری جنرل اقوام متحدہ انتونیو گوتریس سینٹر فار انٹرنیشنل پیس اینڈ سٹیبلٹی پہنچے ہیں۔ یونیورسٹی آمد پر ان کا شاندار استقبال کیا گیا۔ انتونیو گوتریس کو عالمی امن کے لیے پاکستان کی بے مثال کاوشوں پر اب سے کچھ دیر بعد تفصیلی بریفنگ بھی دی جائے گی۔ یہ تقریب آپ دیکھ سکتے ہیں منعقد کی گئی ہے۔ ڈائریکٹر جنرل ملٹری آپریشنز میجر جنرل نعمان زکریا ان کو بریف کریں گے۔ سیکرٹری جنرل اقوام متحدہ انتونیو گوتریس سینٹر فار انٹرنیشنل پیس اینڈ سٹیبلٹی پہنچ چکے ہیں۔ یونیورسٹی آمد پر سیکرٹری جنرل کا شاندار استقبال کیا گیا ہے۔ نسٹ کے مناظر ہیں، نیشنل یونیورسٹی آف سائنس اینڈ ٹیکنالوجی کے یہ مناظر ہیں۔ خوبصورت گلدستے پیش کیے گئے ہیں۔ انتونیو گوتریس کو سری نگر سے تعلق رکھنے والی کشمیری طالبہ ماہپارہ، افغان مہاجر خاندان کے محمد سہیب اور پاکستانی طالب علم سعد حسن نے ان کو پھول پیش کیے، ان کا استقبال کیا، ان کو خوش آمدید کہا گیا۔ انتونیو گوتریس کو عالمی امن کے لیے پاکستان کی بے مثال کاوشوں پر تفصیلی بریفنگ اب سے کچھ دیر بعد دی جائے گی۔ ڈائریکٹر جنرل ملٹری آپریشنز میجر جنرل نعمان زکریا ان کو بریف کریں گے۔ آپ یہ مناظر دیکھ سکتے ہیں۔ سیکرٹری جنرل اقوام متحدہ انتونیو گوتریس سینٹر فار انٹرنیشنل پیس اینڈ سٹیبلٹی میں موجود ہیں۔ یونیورسٹی آمد پر سیکرٹری جنرل کا شاندار استقبال کیا گیا۔
بسم اللہ الرحمن الرحیم وَإِن طَائِفَتَانِ مِنَ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ اقْتَتَلُوا فَأَصْلِحُوا بَيْنَهُمَا فَإِن بَغَتْ إِحْدَاهُمَا عَلَى الْأُخْرَى فَقَاتِلُوا الَّتِي تَبْغِي حَتَّى تَفِيءَ إلى أمر الله فإن فاءت فأصلحوا بينهما بالعدل وأقسطوا إن الله يحب المقسطين.
صدق Allah al-Azim. Your Excellency, Mr. Antonio Guterres, Secretary General of United Nations, respected Chief of General Staff, Lieutenant General Sahir Shamshad Mirza, Hilal-e-Imtiaz Military, Honorable Rector, National University of Sciences and Technology, Lieutenant General Naveed Zaman, Hilal-e-Imtiaz Military Retired, distinguished members of the delegation, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum and good afternoon. I, Major Dr. Amna Malik, feel immensely honored to welcome you and all our distinguished guests to Center for International Peace and Stability, NUST. And thank you, Your Excellency, for gracing this auspicious seminar. Worthy guests, Pakistan Army has a long, cherishable and glorified legacy of serving within the ambit of United Nations. The very roots of our commitment in promoting international peace and security stems from the vision of our founding father, Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah. Distinguished guests, our contingents have multi-dimensional skill sets ranging from highly trained and battle-hardened troops to energetic and professional lady officers standing tall, serving with pride in United Nations peacekeeping missions. Ladies and gentlemen, now I would like to request worthy Rector, National University of Sciences and Technology, Lieutenant General Naveed Zaman, Hilal-e-Imtiaz Military Retired, for the opening address.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Excellency, Mr. Antonio Guterres, Secretary General of the United Nations, honorable members of the delegation, excellencies from the diplomatic corps, distinguished guests, faculty members and students, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum and good afternoon. It is indeed a great matter of great privilege and honor to welcome our distinguished guest to the National University of Sciences and Technology, fondly known as NUST. Excellency, we thank you for choosing to visit this seat of learning and sharing your vision for the global peace and solidarity, justice and human rights. Let me also take this opportunity to deeply appreciate the continuous support and encouragement from the leadership and high-ranking UN officials who have been regularly visiting us from various UN departments. We proudly hosted Mr. Ban Ki-moon, then Secretary General, who visited us in 2013, and last year, Ms. Maria Fernando Espinosa, the President of the third session of the General Assembly, honored us with her presence. Excellency, as the top university of Pakistan, we at NUST are proud of our national and international reputation for teaching and research in multifarious domains of science and technology, as well as management and natural sciences. Besides contributing to the national objective of making Pakistan a progressive and prosperous country amongst the community of nations, our academic and research programs are also supporting 4 core purposes of the United Nations. We also proudly boast to be the pioneering university engaged with UN Sustainable Goals 2030, with all our research areas aligned to these goals. Our graduates are progressively assuming steering roles in the world's renowned organizations working for global peace and prosperity. NUST also has the honor of contributing to the global peace by providing education and training in the subjects of peace and conflict studies at the Center of International Peace and Stability. The Peacekeeping Training Department, which is part of the Center of International Peace and Stability, over its short history, has covered a stellar mileage by organizing 123 courses and has trained over 2,000 enablers and experts as per UN Department of Peacekeeping operational policy and guidelines. This includes an impressive representation of over 200 participants from 30 friendly countries who have attended different UN certified courses. The center has also contributed in training 69 major and minor units of Pakistan Army, comprising more than 30,000 soldiers. Excellency, I am pleased to share with you that pursuant to your vision, the Peacekeeping Training Department has also introduced female engagement team and gender advisor courses in sync with UN Integrated Training Service conceptual framework. Besides this, the Peace and Conflict Studies Department distinguishes itself by offering 2 PhD and master programs in peace and conflict regime, and within this short span has made its mark by producing quality scholars and intellectual output. Excellency, we will be glad to know that all our university programs and activities lay special emphasis on incorporating gender perspective and promoting gender parity. Presently, we have around 17,000 students in the university, of which 30% are female. Among the faculty, comprising 1,200 members, 22% are female, a number comparable, if not better, than some of the best universities of the world. In addition, we are continuously working to promote ever more participation of women in all spheres of activities at our campus, especially women entrepreneurship. And wherever NUST students have gone, they have made a mark, and I would just like to mention recently, last year, NUST all-girls Formula racing car team which participated in competition in UK, and they've made a history by being the all-girls Formula racing car team. And in fact, they won the Spirit of the Nation award also there. Excellency, I once again express my profound gratitude to you for honoring us with your presence and providing our scholars and faculty the opportunity to learn about the initiatives that UN is pursuing under your dynamic leadership. We wish you good luck in this challenging assignment. My gratitude also to all the guests for sparing time and joining us on this memorable occasion. Thank you very much. Pakistan Paindabad.
Thank you, sir. Distinguished guests, now Honorable Director General, Military Operations, Major General Noman Zikria, Hilal-e-Imtiaz Military, will enlighten us about Pakistan's contributions in United Nations peacekeeping operations.
In the name of Allah, the most gracious and the merciful, Your Excellency, distinguished guests, in the next about 10 minutes, I'll give a very short and a forceful glimpse of Pakistan's historic contributions to the peacekeeping operations all over the world. Excellency, I'll start with a statement of the Father of the Nation, which lays down the foundation of our peacekeeping operations, a very strong message that I would love to read out. Our foreign policy is one of friendliness and goodwill towards all the nations of the world. We believe in the principle of honesty and fair play in national and international dealings and are prepared to make our utmost contribution to the promotion of peace and prosperity amongst the nations of the world. And the last sentence, the one I'm about to read, is really to be focused at. Pakistan will never be found lacking in extending its material and moral support to the oppressed and suppressed people of the world and in upholding the principle of the UN Charter. Based on this statement, Pakistan's principles which govern our deployment in peacekeeping operations are four cardinals actually: professionalism, responsibility, impartiality, and respect for the host country. For Pakistan, the United Nations offers a unique forum to manifest our resolve for bringing peace and tranquility around the globe. Pakistan's journey with UN peacekeeping operations started only when this country was 13 years old, and our first mission was deployed in the Democratic Republic of Congo way back in 1960. Since then, we have contributed about 46 missions over 4 continents in 28 countries. And I'm proud to tell you that we have remained amongst the top peacekeeping countries, troop contributing countries, for 18 years in the UN system. And we have been deployed all over the world. By far, our largest deployment has been in Congo, where we have so far contributed more than 73,000 troops. Right now, as we stand today, Your Excellency, out of the 14 active missions in the globe, we are deployed in 9 of them. We have more than 4,400 troops, ladies and men, contributed towards this. We are the 6th largest troop contributing country today, with our largest deployment in Democratic Republic of Congo, about 1,975 troops. And we continue to uphold our pledge to contribute as and when the United Nations calls. Prospectively speaking, and as we stand right now, our deployment of an aviation unit in Mali is underway, and in March we will be deploying a military engineer task force also in our UN mission in South Sudan. A word about the selection of the peacekeepers, which we are very proud to uphold as the principle. I assure you, Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, that we select the best of the best. Pakistan Army is a battle-hardened army, and amongst those, the troops which participate in law enforcement operations are very carefully weaned and selected. Just like that, as we select our officers through a very competitive process, the senior officers which we deploy, Your Excellency, in United Nations headquarters are also done seeing their background experience and their competency as required by the United Nations. And the place we standing today, NUST, particularly SIPS, is the place which gives us the foundation of training of all these ladies and gentlemen that serve under the blue flag. We follow, in order to convert a soldier into a highly trained and effective peacekeeper, Your Excellency, we undertake 4-tiered progressive training regime, where after the stringent selection criteria, the trainers in each body of troops are brought to SIPS here and undergo extensive courses, which is followed by their training in the contingents wherever they are in the field. And while they are being trained, the faculty of SIPS oversees them, evaluates them constantly, which is followed by a corrective training of 2 weeks. Last but not the least, when we deploy these contingents in the mission area, we again put them through mission-specific training as per the environment and requirement of each mission. And that is one of the reasons, Your Excellency, that Pakistani troops have always been, and I give you this pledge, shall remain in high demand in the UN system. Something which Director Nust also mentioned, and we are very proud to tell you this, sir, that we have total commitment to gender mainstreaming. So far, we have contributed 400 female peacekeepers who have served under the blue flag. We are also one of the first countries to deploy exclusive female engagement team in Congo, and we are also very proudly contributing towards the United Nations Integrated Training Services team, wherein our ladies and our officers go over all across the globe in various peacekeeping training institutes and act as mentors and instructors in every part of the world. Restoration of rule of law, as we all know, is very important in the UN peacekeeping system. And I can very proudly say today, standing here, that we have contributed 45 formed police units in 5 United Nations missions. And a very challenging task. Most of the places, they are taking the places of the regular troops and maintaining stability in those troubled regions of the world. We also have the honor of one of our very brave police officers, Shahzadi Gulfam, has the honor of being bestowed upon the International Female Police Keeper Award of 2011. Your Excellency, we believe that no amount of sacrifice is enough in upholding the principles of the United Nations and its Charter. So in their duty of the global peacekeeping operations, we have 157 peacekeepers who gave the ultimate sacrifice, including 24 officers. And 96 of them were proud recipients of Dag Hammarskjöld Medal. You would be best placed to see the impact our troops are putting on ground, but I would just like to cover a few things on the next 2 slides. We have been instrumental in conducting peaceful elections and referendums in mission areas. We have a major share in disarmament of thousands of rebels in multiple conflict zones. We have participated or led demining operations in about 125 square kilometers of area. Apart from that, capacity building of local police, armed forces and law enforcement agencies is obviously one of the regular tasks of our troops. As far as socio-economic impact is concerned, Your Excellency, I assure you that Pakistani troops have always gone beyond their mandate to take care of the host communities, whether they be free medical treatments, rehabilitation and patronization of education facilities, vocational training of the local population, projects to undertake economic revitalization and establishing rule of law, engaging marginal strata of society through female engagement teams, or development of communication infrastructure and airfields. Going ahead, Your Excellency, we understand that the future peacekeeping environment is likely to become even more complex and will require robust peacekeeping mandates. They would also require a comprehensive and integrated approach to peacekeeping apart from absorption of high-tech capabilities and highly responsive and agile contingents. While all of this will be required, the peacekeeper herself or himself will have to be dynamic in thought and training with better public management skills. And our complete focus is to assure that we are up to the futuristic challenges, and the capstone doctrine or action for peace, which Your Excellency himself espoused, remains the focus of our training to prepare our future peacekeepers to undertake the future challenges. We remain committed, Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, to keep providing highly trained, optimally equipped and agile military and police contingents. We will continue to fulfill our obligations toward United Nations peacekeeping readiness system, of which we are a very proud and active member. While we do that, we continue to look at providing incessant and robust peacekeeping support to Action for Peace initiative. As before, Pakistan, the state of Pakistan will continue to partake in the intellectual and training contributions. As far as female peacekeepers are concerned, we would ensure, Your Excellency, gender mainstreaming, and by mid of 2020, Pakistan Army, the police forces would have fielded 90 female peacekeepers additional to the system. And last but not the least, I, on behalf of Chief of Army Staff and Rector Nust, would like to thank you for agreeing to break the ground of our brand new purpose-made facility of the Peacekeeping Training Institute, which will serve as a model Peacekeeping Training Institute. And going ahead, Your Excellency will definitely love to have your support to accredit it as a regional UN-accredited Peacekeeping Training Institute. I thank you very much, Your Excellency.
Thank you, sir, for your perspicacious contemplation about Pakistan's contributions in United Nations peacekeeping operations. Worthy guests, I would now request Lieutenant General Maqsood Ahmed, Hilal-e-Imtiaz Military, retired, to share his imperative thoughts on contemporary challenges to peacekeeping, need for a paradigm shift to action for peacekeeping.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Honorable Secretary General, Director Nust, Chief of General Staff, distinguished guests, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and Assalamu alaikum. I am thankful for inviting me to speak on the subject of contemporary challenges to peacekeeping, need for a paradigm shift to actions for peacekeeping. I left the position of military advisor in the UN headquarters in 2016, and since then, a lot of work has been done to bridge the gaps in peacekeeping operations under the leadership of Secretary General. I have read the very candid report of Santos Cruz, who was a force commander in MONUSCO in my time, a really brilliant and a very brave officer. Secretary General's initiative on action for peacekeeping is a comprehensive document on shared responsibility and commitment by all stakeholders in making peacekeeping more effective and result-oriented. It has already produced very positive results. Still, there are some challenges which need our attention, and I'll be highlighting those in my very brief talk. We all know that peacekeeping environment has changed into more volatile and complex operating environment where non-state actors and armed groups are involved in targeting innocent civilians. Perpetrators of violence get mixed up in population, and identification of friend and foe is very blurred. These armed groups operate across the borders with impunity and in some cases get support for their activities, whereas missions have mandate to operate within geographical bounds. Police and military contingents lack in capability both in terms of equipment and training. Caveats by the TCC's lack of will and leadership inadequacies affect the performance of peacekeepers and dent the reputation of United Nations. These and many other challenges are well known and have been discussed in the A4P conference thoroughly, so I will not dwell on that. My focus today will remain on two areas only. One is the rapid deployment after getting the mandate from the Security Council, and second, effective response by the peacekeepers. Let me tackle them one by one. Rapid deployment in the mission remains a challenge for the United Nations. My experience says generally it takes from 1 year to 3 years to deploy a complete mission in the mission, complete contingents in the mission. The reason for this delay could be many. Few steps have been taken to address these issues, but the result is far from satisfactory. With the introduction of PCRS, Peacekeeping Readiness System, the response on the part of TCCs has improved, and the preparation time for deployment has been reduced substantially. However, still, a lot of time is taken to transport the contingents from the TCCs to the mission areas. If the mission is in a landlocked country like the case of Central African Republic, the problem gets compounded. Since contracting and transportation of contingents from TCCs to mission area remain the UN domain, this system needs improvement. Option of airlift is available, but due to heavy cost involved, it is seldom exercised, and that too piecemeal. There is a requirement to think out of the box and come up with innovative solutions to find an answer to the problem. I think a joint partnership with the TCCs may help to solve this issue. This delayed deployment also affects the performance of mission. Generally, it is felt that the tempo of the mission and the reputation of mission is set within first couple of years, good or bad, both ways. When the first contingent arrives into the mission area, the expectations of the general public is sky high. It is expected that with the arrival of the blue helmets on ground, all the violence will stop and things will become normal. Ironically, that's not the case. We all know that the first contingents, whether they are enablers or the fighting units, generally get consumed in preparation of the bases or protection of the peacekeepers themselves or the UN staff. Now this sets kind of a resentment into the mission area. So there is a requirement that mission achieves its full capability and full potential within the shortest possible time if they have to deliver on the protection of civilian mandate. Otherwise, it will remain a far-fetched idea. This aspect of transportation from the TCCs to the mission area must be looked at very seriously, and I would recommend it should be a point of discussion in actions for peacekeeping to work out a suitable plan. Status quo is not going to deliver us the results. Let me come on to the effective response. Effective response of military and police contingents depend on many factors that include capability and suitability of the contingent, including their training and equipment, caveats from the TCCs, leadership, including the leadership at tactical level, commitment and resolve of the TCCs towards peacekeeping, dynamism of force commander and the mission leadership, support from the host country, and then ingenuity of the field support from the United Nations. As highlighted earlier, the operating environment in the mission have changed significantly. Now, to respond to this prevalent and emerging scenarios, the mission concepts and more importantly, military and police concepts of operation have to be flexible. Force should be prepared, trained and equipped to operate from number of operating bases with extensive patrolling programs, night picketing, etc. Intelligence-based operations should be launched during day and night. Rules of engagement should be clear at the lowest level, and initiative must be passed on to the junior commanders. There is a risk in these kind of operations, but that risk is worth taking if POC mandate has to be delivered. Reactive and cautious approaches passes the initiative to the spoilers of the peace, and a fallout is kind of a lukewarm response from the peacekeepers. I can assure you the chances of casualty both to the innocent civilians as well as to UN staff will reduce drastically if peacekeepers remain proactive. Fortress mindset is bound to fail. That is what Santos Cruz also said in his 18 points when he presented the report to Secretary General. To operationalize the flexible concept of operation, UN support system needs to be revamped. UN support system should be geared up to provide logistic support in distant locations and to the smaller groups. Age-old system of providing support up to company bases and passing the buck on to the TCCs or the contingents is not working. Enablers play a pivotal role in the execution of flexible and proactive operations. Without violating combat aviation and combat aviation as well as engineer support, these operations cannot be conducted. The command of enablers has been under discussion in UN since long. Although some arrangements have been worked out in certain missions to make the enablers to the peacekeepers or the military commanders, but that's not enough. What I would suggest is the combat part of the enablers should be under command, the police and military commanders, if we have to deliver these kind of operations. There's a lot other disconnects in the system also. For example, we here are advocating the robust operations, use of force and productive operations. On the contrary, the UN support system is discouraging that. We all agree that when you have a high tempo operation, the wear and tear to the equipment and man and material is more. Well, on the wear and tear is more, the country is penalized. That discourages the contingents to take proactive operation. They go on to the preservation of the equipment and stores. So this mindset has to change. All elements should be geared up to support the proactive operation so that the POC mandate can be delivered. In the end, I would say the Secretary General's initiative for action for peace is an excellent document. It needs to be implemented religiously. And if done that, I'm sure the UN will deliver onto the mandates. I thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, sir, for highlighting the challenges and action for peacekeeping. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my immense pleasure and honor to call upon His Excellency, Mr. Antonio Guterres,